Dear chess friends, welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome to a beautiful game that I simply cannot wait to show you here on my YouTube chess channel. We have here the latest version of Stockfish, the powerful Stockfish 16, battling it out against another top engine, Igel, in the beautiful Boleslavsky Variation of the French Defense. And this game has really one of the most epic, most brutal, most immortal Greek gift tactics that I've seen in my life. Usually, when you pull off a Greek gift tactic, when you give up the bishop for opponent, then you basically have, I think, the initiative. Then I think many times we have seen when you pull off the Greek gift tactic, the game is almost over. But this game is a little bit different because in the beginning, I really didn't understand where was a Stockfish compensation, where was Stockfish progressive idea in order to make this kind of a Greek gift tactic. But of course, when Stockfish is playing chess, everything is a little bit different. Pay good attention and enjoy in the spectacular battle played by Stockfish 16 against the Igel chess engine. So with the white pieces, the fish opened with the move e4. We have e6, the French d4, d5, knight to c3, e5 here after move knight to f6. So we have now the classical variation. And as I mentioned many times here on my YouTube chess channel, we have here now this blocked out pawn structure. White is attacking the king side. Black is of course attacking the queen side. Who is faster on the attack will probably win the game. So here Stockfish continues with the move f4, c5 here by Igel, hitting the pawn on d4, knight to f3. So basically in the beginning we have now battle for the d4 square. Now comes the so-called Boleslavsky variation, supporting simply here the pawn on d4. I think black has here good chances to attack the position further, but of course white is also nice grip, and as I said, white is simply trying to do progressive ideas here on this side of the board. So we have a6 by Igel with the preparation to play b5, b4, c4 if possible, so expanding here on this side of the board. Queen to d2, b5 here by Igel, and now h4 here by Stockfish 16. Bishop to e7, we have h5, and now after move bishop to b7, now we have sort of a theoretical novelty here by Stockfish 16, a move that I cannot see in the database. So Stockfish changes now the direction of this opening stage, because many times in chess history I see here a beautiful gameplay by Garry Kasparov against Evgeny Barev, Maigonis Avotins against Pavel Kolar. Both games ended with a draw, so I think this is also a decent opening here for black, and that's exactly why I like to cover more of these games played on this computer chess rating list website of the CCRL, because the prearranged lines of blacks or whites are not bad for one engine on some computer chess championships, and now also on the TCEC competitions. Usually there's a huge advantage always for white, and then black is trying simply to defend its position. So as I said, this is a solid position for black, nothing wrong so far. So black didn't make inaccuracies, mistakes or blunders. Of course white should be always slightly better in any opening, but as I said, nothing gained so far here also from white's perspective. But as I said, here comes the different direction here by Stockfish 16. Usually here in many games d takes c5 is played in order to of course occupy now again the d4 square. For instance, as I said, in the game Garry Kasparov against Evgeny Barev, here Barev took, Garry Kasparov played bishop to d3, here after rook to c8, bishop to c5, and after bishop to c5 the progressive idea by Kasparov was this break and enter idea here with the move f5. So I really don't want to dive now into this game, but I wanted to show just simply the differences in approaches by human chess, but also top engine chess. Here, after bishop to b7, Stockfish played queen to f2. So sort of a theoretical novelty, putting more pressure against the pawn on c4, supporting also the d4 square, but also having opportunities to attack further the king side with queen to g3, which is also something that we should not forget in this particular position. So here comes rook to c8. We have bishop to d3 here by Stockfish 16. What should you do? If you play c4 here immediately, this would be an attack. It would force, of course, white to react, but it would be also a huge positional mistake, because after move c4, now look at this pawn chain. This pawn chain will never be mobile again, so it means that you're almost playing the whole game without your light for bishop. On the other hand, I think white still has progressive ideas on this side of the board, although this bishop is so far blocked out. But as I said, f5, g4, g5, and suddenly also the dark square bishop of white is breeding, although it's not of course the optimal piece because it's so far also blocked out by its own pawns. But as I said, this poor bishop on b7 is not going to come into the game at all, so it will stay there forever because the pawn structure is simply getting blocked. So now we can retreat. You can even put more pressure against even the knight on c3, but now we retreat, and actually you helped out white just in order to include a new piece into the game. Queen to g3 is going to happen, knight to f2, knight to g4, maybe first g4, g5, and then knight to g4. So white will simply coordinate all of the pieces towards the king side and will have, I think, a storm here on this side of the board. So I think black could not defend his position, especially because also both knights are out of game. The f6 square is taken. Maybe in some great tactical lines you can sacrifice here the knight, but three pieces are not playing here for sure, so not a good continuation to play here to move c4 immediately. So that's why here Igel castle, but Stockfish continues with knight to e2. Now comes c4, the move that we have talked about that was bad because Igel thought that this bishop is trapped. There's simply no good square for the bishop, but of course Stockfish has everything calculated. Stockfish plays now the immortal great gift with bishop takes h7. Really, really wild stuff. What's all about? So let's see, king to h7. What should we do now? Usually when we play the Greek gift tactic, the queen is somewhere, I don't know, on d1, and then we have this idea to play knight to g5, and then to include the queen on h5, and then maybe to deliver checkmate, maybe even to play progressively here on this side of the board with some pawns. But Stockfish calculated that Stockfish had enough compensation by pushing the pawn on g4, by storming now with maybe 4 pawns here on the king side against these 3 pawns. Maybe we can also count this as maybe 3 versus 2 or maybe 2 versus 1, especially if we manage somehow to get the g6 goal. So what should black do here? So black continued here with knight to b4, hitting the pawn on c2, but because of the blocked pawn structure now in the center, so nothing is probably going to be opened here in the center of the board. Stockfish plays now beautiful king to d1. Secure simply the king like this. Really, really wild stuff. Really crazy position. What should again black do? For instance, one of the suggested lines is to play the move queen to a5. This wasn't played by Igel. This would be maybe at least some kind of an attack here on this side of the board, but it's simply not enough. You have only the knight and only the queen that's attacking now the position. Then white can simply continue with the move g5. And look how crazy now the position becomes. For instance, as I said, this wasn't played in the game, but I was curious because it seemed to me, and also the Stockfish engine suggests that you should play here queen to a5. But still, this is epic, this is brutal. Look at this. After move g5, we have now queen to a4. You're putting more pressure probably here against this weak pawn on c2. Now we play rook to c1. You can play maybe even the fork with knight to d3. You can even grab the rook, but that's not the point here. We can play immediately g6, and the g6 move comes with the tempo. So what should you do? For instance, if you play f take g6, this would be, I think, a fast death here, because after queen to g3, the queen is coming into the game. You would probably try here to lock somehow the g5, but look at this, knight to g5, bishop to g5, queen to g5, you're trying to escape, h6, you're trying to cover. We play queen to g6 with the threat of h7, deflecting the king from the defense of the rook. You're trying maybe to get new pieces into the defense, but now finally we can take. Now look at this, after c takes d3, now we play even h takes g7. This is the way to go, even threatening the checkmate on h8. So what should you do? For instance, if you try here rook to c1, then we can play knight to c1. You can play rook to g7, but the issue is here that the queen is coming in a brutal way into the game. You can maybe cover. Now with threatening against checkmate, you can try to escape, but now with e6, this is really devastating. Where are you going to go with your knight? Now a rook to g1 is going to happen. All of the squares are taken, so this is game over here for sure. Really, really crazy position by Stockfish 16. You can try to escape, but now we pick up this one, you're trying this one, then we push the pawn further. Look at this, we have here really, really a beautiful attacking flow. So this is not working. So let's go back here. As we said, after move g6, f takes g6 would not be a good continuation. Let's see if you play here something like king to g8. Then the issue is that you're getting destroyed on the h file. So you're getting destroyed on the g file, or you're getting destroyed on the h file. You could even trap the rook now, as we said, but now it doesn't matter. Bishop to c1, you're desperately trying probably here to open somehow the position, but we can simply take, you take out not this one, but after move h6, as I said, this game should be soon over here for black. You can maybe try this one, but now look at this, h takes g7 simply wins the game. If you step back, then of course the queen is coming into the game. If you pick up here also the piece, then of course queen to h7 is a beautiful, beautiful checkmate with the queen and rook battery on the h file. So look at this, very, very wild stuff. So queen to a5 also very, very messy. It's simply too slow. As we saw, g5, g6 is then the winning goal. So here, after rook to d1, that's why knight to c5 was played by Stockfish. But Stockfish is a different beast. Many of us, I think, would take out now this knight, would be probably satisfied maybe also by taking back the piece. But Stockfish doesn't care. Stockfish just cares for this attack here on this side of the board. Stockfish continues now with this progressive idea with the move g5. So again, what should black do? If you try knight to e4, again, I was curious, what's going to happen? Why didn't black play here this move knight to e4? This knight is powerful here. It's supported also by the bishop. It's controlling many squares in the center of the board, but again, it's not working because the queen is coming in a beautiful way into the game. You again try to step back, but now again with g6, look at this. You're trying even to play the move queen to e8, but now f5. Look at this. The storm is coming. You play f takes g6. We take out this one. We're trying again to open the h file. You're trying, of course, to somehow defend this position by playing rook to f5. But now comes the tricky idea. Look at this. Knight to f4 comes in a spectacular way into the game. Look at this. Queen to h2 again with some checkmate threats on h8. You probably will sacrifice here bishop to f4. Look at this. c3. Again, you're trying somehow desperately to open the position on the c file on the queen side, but it's not working. Now after something like bishop to g5, you have to play it in order to pick up now the piece on the pawn on g6. That's now the most annoying pawn, of course, but now we can play bishop to g5. You take, now we play a3. The problem is now knight to c2, for instance, is not working because here there are no discoveries because the king is connected, so nothing spectacular. Again, you cannot also play knight to g5 because the queen is hanging here on g6. So see, it's like almost everything is so calculated by Stockfish. Every particular line that I tried to analyze, it was simply undefendable. Very, very wild stuff. So let's go back to this critical moment. Even if you try here f takes g6 after this knight to e4 move, as we saw, it's also not working. Queen to g2, as we said. Even if you try somehow to lock the position on the g file, will simply take. You may be trying again to sack the rook, but now with g6 we can really open many positions. So again, it's not working. So dirty ideas here after move g5. So here, as we said, knight to e4 is also not working here for the Igel engine. So that's why Igel tried to escape with king to g8. Stockfish continues now with the move g6. We have knight to d3, again sort of a desperate try. We have c takes d3, c takes d3, and now knight to c1. Here by Stockfish, of course, controlling the d3 square, not allowing here also to get somehow black's pieces to get somehow also into the game. What should black do? Even if you try here rook to c2, seems dangerous, but nothing spectacular. Queen to g3 is going to happen. It's the same where we put the queen. The most important thing is that we put it on the g file, because after queen to e8, you're trying again probably to connect the queen to the defense, but now after h6, again we're breaking, entering here in this position. You can take, now we kick away the knight, you have to step back, we pick up the pawn. What should you do? You pick up the pawn, of course. Now knight takes d3 is going to happen. You have to step back with the rook. King to d2 is even a possibility, so simply too many attacking pieces are dancing. Look at this, you try knight to a5, the rook is coming into the game, you're trying rook to f5, then look at this, knight to h4. So it keeps simply attacking here. It doesn't allow you here to escape. You can maybe try, look at this, bishop to h4, queen to h4. Maybe you could deliver a check, but no good further checks are possible here for black. You're trying to escape, but now some checks are possible. So very devastating and again position here for black. So let's go back. So as after move knight to c1, you see also the move rook to c2 is not working because of queen to g3. So that's why queen to c7 played by Igel, trying maybe even to play queen to c2, trying of course to trade off the queens to finally simplify the game. But Stockfish plays another beautiful defensive move. Look at this, everything is compact, everything is good together. Knight to e1, we have queen to c4. Now again with the same plan, now again the queen comes on the g file. We have knight to c2, but now knight takes d3. Stockfish Stockfish sacrifices the rook, but again, the progressive idea with the move h6. This is the way they go. And again, you see how much this blocked out pawn structure is not allowing these bishops to get into the game. This was, when you play the move c4, I can guarantee you that you'll not have fun with your light square bishop. That's exactly what happened. It's almost like here the Igel engine play the whole game without the bishop on b7 and also without the rook on c8. Very crazy position. So here knight to c2 played by the Igel engine. We have h takes g7, knight to e3, queen to e3, and after f takes g6 here the move queen to h3 was played by Stockfish 16, and in this particular position the Igel engine resigns. So what's the issue? Of course, if you step back, then you get checkmated here on h8. Then we have also the opportunity, pardon me, here we can play queen to h7 and then promote to a new queen to g8. Even if you try to escape with king to f7, then we simply pick up the rook. Now again the queen is coming into the game. We'll take out also this pawn on g6. We'll attack also the bishop, and again the attack is simply too dangerous here. f5 in some lines, if you're trying to escape now, is possibility. Pawn on e6 is weak. So again, a messed up game here for black. And look at this, these two knights are defending the king here. Nothing can happen on this side of the board. So again, a spectacular, brutal attack by Stockfish 16. So as I said, after move queen to h3 in this position, the Igel engine actually resigned. Crazy game, crazy Greek give tactic by the fish. Incredible performance again, incredible attack. I really think this is very instructive what Stockfish did, because the maneuver with knight to e2, when the Greek give tactic happened, I think no one would play, because c4 is obviously the huge threat, but Stockfish calculated this in a brutal, spectacular way and played now really one of the greatest Greek gifts that I've seen in my life. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed the game like I did, because I really enjoyed these games. I hope that you also enjoyed now many games played by Stockfish 16. If you want to see more spectacular and brutal chess games like this, check out our commented chess games played by computer series. Here's the link of our playlist, and if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and in the end we say chess is the best, of course.